Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today we are going to have a sort of tutorial, and this is going to be a free pattern for making some handmade washcloths or face cloths, whatever you like to call them. And I thought, since it's Pride Month, let's do some Pride themed ones. So I'm going to start today with a closed granny square version, which I really like with the colour changes and things, and it gives it a bit more of an interesting look. So we're going to do a Pride closed granny square washcloth. So if you want to follow along, and obviously you can use whatever colours you like, but because of it's Pride Month, we're going to do a rainbow one. So what I've got here is the Hobbii Rainbow 100% cotton. So that's all this yarn is from the same. So it's the 8/8 size of cotton yarn. So I'm going to use that, and I'm going to use a 5mm hook, and obviously you'll need something to cut the yarn with as well. So let's get started. So you'll have to excuse the plaster on my hand. I had to get some blood tests done today, so is the fun part when you've got a chronic illness, but here we go. So we'll start from the inside out. So we're going to start off with the purple colour here. So you can do a chain 4 and turn it into a ring, or I'm just going to do a magic ring to start. So whichever method of doing a magic ring, up to yourself, just because that will close it off a bit in the middle. So magic ring, and what we're going to do is we're going to do a chain 3, and then we're going to do 2 double crochets, sorry, 2 double crochets into the ring, and then another one. There we go, so that's got a cluster, and then we're going to do a chain 2 to create our corner, and then we're going to do 3 double crochets into the ring. There we go, so that's another cluster of 3, so then we chain 2 for the corner, and then 3 double crochets as well. So it's starting off essentially the same as a regular granny square would start. And if need be, you can always tighten it down, the ring, a little bit. Even don't tighten it fully until you're done, but sometimes that makes it a bit less fiddly for getting all your stitches in. That's another cluster, so you can see we're getting that square shape. So we're going to do chain 2 once again, then another cluster of double crochets. Go. So now you've got 4 clusters. So we're going to chain 2 to make the last corner, and then you want to find the 3rd chain that you made at the beginning, and we're going to slip stitch to join that there. So that's us got our first granny square. So then you fasten the yarn off at this point. There we go. So that's us got the beginning of our square with the purple. So the next colour in the rainbow pride flag is blue. So you can join on any kind of places, but we'll tighten the magic ring down a little bit more. There we go, that's better. And what I like to do is just crochet over the end of the previous one, but you probably, it's best to kind of alternate where you start each kind of round. So we'll go back to this space here. So what I always do, because this is the one stitch that's easy to forget, is the one right after the corner. So we'll start off in that one. So put your hook through and we'll join the blue. And just like we did before, that tight. Chain 3. Okay, and then, but say, remember the closed granny square, you're crocheting into the top of the stitches, not the gaps. Well, you crochet into the gaps as well, but you're doing it into the stitches, so we're going to do a double crochet in that stitch. And say, just holding the end of the yarn, it makes it easier for you to crochet over it, and then it means that you don't need to weave it in at the end, you can just cut it off, which is obviously much nicer. So then into the next stitch there. Okay, and then we've got this, that's us got to the chain space, so we're going to do 2 double crochets into the chain space. And then we're going to chain 2. And then we're going to do another 2 double crochets into that chain space as well. So that's what forms our corners for this type of granny square. So, oh, end is sneaking in there. No, thank you. Go away. There we go. Okay, so you can see we've got our corner there, and now we've reached the tail of the row below. So we can leave the blue and we can just crochet over that tail. So make sure you catch the last stitch. Yeah. So again, double crochet. So there'll be 3 essentially on each side, and then 2 and chain and 2 in each corner for this row. So another double crochet. Then the next stitch. So, and now we've got back to the chain space again, so same as before, 2 double crochets into the chain space, 2 chains, and 2 double crochets. There. Okay. Okay, and then just same pattern again, so don't forget this first stitch of each cluster, because it tends to hide under the corner stitches that you've just done, so don't forget about it or you'll end up with a wonky square, which if you want a wonky square that's absolutely fine, but we're just continuing this pattern of double crochets into each of your stitches, and then you're doing the two chains, 2 into each corner, and that's what gives you your increases so that the square gets bigger. So 2 double crochet, 2 chain, 2 double crochet. then last cluster, so double crochet in there, double crochet in there, and double crochet in there. Right, and then we're at our last corner space, so 2 double crochets, 2 chains, and 2 double crochets. Okay, that's us done, and then we're going to find the top of the chain 3 from the row below, insert the hook and slip stitch to fasten off. There we go. And as I say, if you crochet over the ends, then it leaves you very little to weave in. You'll really just have to weave in this one and the very last tail from the outside, whereas these ones, because we've crocheted over them, what I tend to do is pull them out as much as possible, snip them, and then it settles in there. So it just means it's less work to do at the very end, because nobody really likes weaving in the ends when they're crocheting. So that way, even with the frequent colour changes, it's a lot less work to do. So that's us done the blue. Obviously, if we know our rainbow green is next, I say what I do is, because the Hobbii cotton yarn comes with the Easy Start, basically there's a little label on the centre pull. It makes it so much easier, and I just kind of line them up in order on the desk, and that lets me get everything done that we need to do. So makes life a bit easier. So we'll start on this side this time. So again, I tend to start, you can start in the space if you want to, but I tend to start in the one right after a chain space. Just kind of makes more sense to my brain, I guess, but wherever you want to start, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to attach the green. And chain 3. And then we're going to do the same thing again. So you're going to work double crochets into all of these stitches until you reach the corner. So the good thing about this pattern, I say, it works up quite quickly. It's nice and easy. It's something that once you get into the swing of the pattern, you can just work away at it. But I like these because it takes me maybe an hour and a half to do a washcloth and face scrubby set. So, you know, for markets and things, really quite a good pattern, quite a good thing to make, because they make up nice and quick. They're useful, a bit more eco-friendly than using the disposable cotton rounds and things like that. So and I say, I find with the cotton, you have so many colour options with cotton, but it's also machine washable and tends to be more hard wearing than wool. But yep, we're doing the same again. So done double crochets all along, got to the corner, and done 2, chain 2, 2, and you just continue with this as you go. Yeah, I say it's a simple pattern, but I think the effect is really, really nice. So let's keep working away. I think this would be good for anybody if you're going to be selling at any Pride events or anything like that, then this might be a good option. I've still to test them out with heavy duty makeup. Right enough, that is something that I'll hopefully be able to do at some point. It's been far too long since I've done any cosplay stuff or any makeup. As I have mentioned, I think before, that I'm a Cats cosplayer, and with everything with my health, I've not been able to go to any events for quite a long time, so I do really miss it. But I do want to put the cotton face scrubbies through their paces with the Cats makeup, because I use the it's Creolin brand, actually, the stage makeup, sort of grease paint and things, so it's quite I say it's really effective. It's really good, but it's quite hardcore trying to remove the makeup. I honestly don't know how the actors that do Cats and have to do that and remove it all every single day for like potentially 8 shows a week is, you know, it's a lot. I suppose that's something that you have to be prepared for if you're gonna be in theatre. But because it's oil-based paint that's set with powder, and then I use sort of really, again, it's the Creolin brand setting spray. It's not so easy to get it all off, so I'd like to see how they actually hold up to that, as well, and if they cope with removing it. So again, don't forget your wee stitch in the corner. Get your double crochet in, so nearly done with the green. So you can see just how quickly this all makes up, because we're 17.5 minutes in and we're already almost at the halfway point. So like I said, that's something that you know, if you're kind of, because I'm definitely not the fastest when it comes to crocheting. There's people that can do crochet much faster than I can, but you see how quick this works up, so you could easily get this done within an hour. You know, so it does lend itself well to making them for markets and stuff like that. So chain 2, 2, did I forget to crochet over the end of that? I did. Never mind. So yeah, don't forget to crochet over your ends if you don't want to have to weave them in at the end. But at the end of the world, if you miss it, and you can just have to weave it in when you're done. But there we go. So that's green, and that's us. So we're just really continuing in that pattern, and you know, sort of working your way, and then it'll get bigger. So what I'll do is I'll kind of speed through the next 3 colours, so going yellow, orange and red. So I'll kind of speed through that, and then we'll bring you back to the end where we're going to finish it off. So that'll be the thing. I say the pattern is, say, once you just keep doing the same thing, and each corner will increase the number of stitches, so that's how you get that square shape. So yeah, I'll quickly speed through the rest of the rows of the colours, and I'll bring you back when we're done. Okay, so that's us finished the rainbow, with the red being the very last. So if you wanted to, you could leave it at that, weave in your ends, trim everything off, block it, and you're done. But for the washcloths, I like to do a little single crochet border, just to kind of pull it together, and I think that looks quite nice. So again, you could do any number of things, any number of colours. I'm going to do white for this one just for the kind of contrast, but you could obviously do it in any colour you like, but we'll use white. So this is fairly straightforward. So again, you want to just join on anywhere you like. So we're going to just do that and then chain one, and again, crochet over your ends. It just makes things much easier. So we're just doing single crochet into every stitch. So same as you've done before. There we go. So say just nice and simple single crochet. Again, you could do something fancier, but I just like the kind of effect this gives just to finish off the piece. So I'll just keep working away, and then when you get to the corners, I'll show you how we want to do that. So it's just the same as what you've done, but you're using single crochet, and then when you get to your corners, what we're going to do is just do 3 single crochets into that corner space, and that just kind of turns it round the corner quite nicely. So that's 3, so you can see 1, 2, 3, and then catch that first stitch in the group, and we're gonna work our way along if the yarn cooperates. There we go. And again, crocheting over the tail end of the previous row, it just saves you weaving them all in at the very end, especially if you're going to do one like this and have lots and lots of colour changes. It just makes it so much easier because you can just snip them off when you're done. So I'm going to be doing more of these, so I'll try and upload a couple of variations over the next couple of weeks for the kind of remainder of Pride Month, and we'll explore a few different kind of patterns and techniques for making these so that you can do some interesting designs. So these will all be kind of free patterns and tutorials that are they're nice and easy makes and beginner friendly as well. So, you know, these kinds of projects are really, really good if you're just starting out and still learning crochet. They're good ways to make something really nice, but also helps you practice all the different stitches and things. So that's something that I find can be quite helpful. So it's the one thing that I love about crochet more than anything else, is just the amount of different things it lets you make and the different techniques that you can learn to do pretty much anything you want, which I think is great. So remember, 3 single crochets in the corner space, and make sure you catch that first stitch of the next side of the square. And work our way around. And while I'm finishing this off, I'm just going to mention, if you look in my profile of the channel, you'll be able to see the link tree with all my various kind of social media and things like that. So if you haven't really seen me on TikTok or anything, at the moment I am doing a deal with the little fruit slice and rainbow keychains that I make. If anybody buys those and buys one from me, then I will donate the amount that they've paid to help families in Palestine to get what they need to stay safe and survive. Because I say, as much as I love making tutorials and content for people, we can't really ignore the horrendous things that are happening in other parts of the world, and it's really important, you know, especially we're in Pride Month, and Pride started out as a riot and a fight for freedom, and freedom of expression, and freedom to live true to yourself, regardless of gender identity, orientation, anything like that. And the bottom line is that everybody, regardless of their background, their ethnicity, their race, their sexuality, their gender, any of that, these things should not matter. Every human should be treated the same way and should have what they need to survive and to thrive. And I say, it sounds like a lofty goal, but having a society where equality is there for everybody, until we get to that point, we just have to keep fighting and standing up for what's right, and that's something that I do firmly believe in. So there's 3 families listed there, all of them that have kind of fairly urgent medical needs, as well as just dealing with the expense of trying to get food and water, and hopefully to be able to evacuate when that becomes possible again. So if you can help financially, that would be amazing, or if you want to buy one of my key rings, you can see them on the website, then I will donate what you pay to these families to kind of help them on their way. So just last corner, and then we'll just do one last wee stitch there, and slip stitch into the first stitch to fasten that off. So fasten that. You could do the invisible join if you like, or just fasten it off normally. There we go. That's the finished piece there. So that's quite a good size, a bit bigger than the other ones, but the yarn is thicker, so I'm not really surprised at that. But that's a nice rainbow washcloth. So I say, you'll need to weave in the final tail, you'll need to weave in the first tail, and then there was a green one that I think I forgot to crochet over, so I'll need to weave that one in at the end as well. So and then you can trim everything off, and let's see, it's a wee bit wrinkly. There's a bit of stretch to the cotton, so I would recommend kind of blocking, so just soaking in water and then pinning it down and blocking it out, and that should help hold its shape a bit better. But that's the rainbow, and I say those links are all in my link tree, or you can go onto my website and purchase one of the keychains and I will donate that to help. But I do really appreciate you watching and all my lovely subscribers. So if you want to see more, I say for the rest of the month, I'm going to work on tutorials for a few different designs and things in this kind of vein. And if you want to make the little face scrubbies that I do as well, the tutorial is there for those. I will link it in this video as well so that you can find it to make these. Again, these are nice and quick to make, really nice to use. I have been using the first set myself for the last little while and they work really nicely. My skin's quite temperamental because of the psoriasis, and they work really well. And they can be, because of the cotton, they can be machine washed, so really easy just to chuck in the washing machine with the rest of your laundry. I tend to put them in the little kind of net laundry bags just because they're kind of small and I don't want them to kind of clog anything up in the machine or anything, or they get lost. So that's what I do. But that's us with our nice Pride Rainbow washcloth. And next time we'll do a different pattern and we'll do a different flag. But any kind of requests for anything like that, just let me know in the comments. Subscribe if you want to see more, and happy crafting and happy Pride. Bye.